Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to Coffee Break. This is Dr. Michele Lignay. It's another week of conversation, reactions, and realizations that I would like to bring you in this episode, and that it's about relationships, marriage, family life that affects our total well-being and our faith life. So join me for Coffee Break, your real conversations, and I would like us to reflect about how have we been in this pandemic with our relationships. For the past week, we've been talking about ourselves. We've been talking about marriage also. But let's go over our relationships with the people we love. Let's just say that it's just not about our relationship only with our spouses. Of course, it's about our relationship with our spouses most of the time, but it's not the sole hindi lang yun yung relasyon. Meron din tayong relasyon with other people, including our families, our extended families, our parents, our siblings, our kids. And sama mo na rin dyan yung mga malapit sa atin sa buhay, mga kaibigan natin, and other friends. Pero I would like to share points with you this afternoon regarding what applies most to marriage, or if not marriage, to the closest relationship that we have. So while we're here, I would like to greet everyone who's already here live. Please say hi if you are here. Say present if you are here with me. Hi, Miss Amy. Who else are here? I'm checking who are here, and I would like you to. Uh-huh. Let's look how can we best support each other through this coffee break. I just need to share this to my own account. Okay, so there you go. So what I would like us to talk about is pandemic proof our relationships. Bakit naman pandemic proof? Alam nyo, you have to realize that pandemic or not, conflicts, differences, and other issues happen in relationships. Do you agree? Do you agree, Tin? Hi, Tin. Do you agree that pandemic or not, friendships, marriage, any relationship, conflicts happen, differences are existent. But the funny thing is, na kailangan natin uminom ng malamig na kape ngayong gabi, hapon na to, what I would like you to realize is that um, the pandemic only highlighted and tested our relationships with the people we love, the closest people, the significant relationships we have. I'll repeat that. The pandemic tested our relationships with the people that we love. It has tested a lot of things in our relationships. Do you agree? So, let's go over that. Yun ang tingnan natin. Tingnan natin kung paano tayo naapektuhan. Gusto kong tanungin sa inyo, yung mga nandito, whenever you have concerns in your relationships, what happens to you? Paano ka naapektuhan? Kayo ba hindi makatulog? Kayo ba yung punong-puno ng parang inis at frustration? Hindi kayo makakain, or you just would like to get out of the house? I would like to ask you, what happens to you when you encounter conflicts and differences in whatever relationships you have, either with your family members and of course your spouses and even your kids. And if you're single, with your siblings. So tingnan natin yun. The pandemic, as I said earlier, the pandemic just highlighted so much about our patterns. So the pandemic tested, the first P is our patterns. Kung ano yung mga bagay na nakagawian natin sa ating relasyon. Pero hindi naman talaga to yung mga sabi nating healthy solutions. For example, one pattern that we have, if we get into conflict with our loved ones, if we get into conflict with our spouse, let's example your spouse, what usually happen is that we don't need to deal with all the issues automatically. Hindi natin kailangan na i-resolve agad ang problema right away. Why? Simply because magkahiwalay naman yung trabaho natin eh. So he goes to the office or you go to work and then siya work from home or whatever. You don't need to be with each other 24/7. You do things with other people. You can We can get away with meeting our friends. We can get away by going to the mall. We can get away by doing leisure activities. Can you relate with that? Are you familiar with what I'm saying you? What I'm saying to you? But what I would like you to realize is that those patterns, are they healthy or not? Sa tingin nyo, yung mga nakagawian nyo, tanungin natin kayo ha, what patterns did happen to you or unfolded in your relationship that was tested this pandemic? Di ba ako personally yung pattern no, when my husband and I, even though that we tried to make our communication work, pero pag nag-away pala kami, ang tendency namin, since for example, that he would go to the office, ako, I have talks, we can just submerge ourselves with our business. Pero this pandemic, hindi. Kasi breakfast, lunch, dinner, magkasama kami. Kahit na he has his work in his corner of the house and I have my work in my corner of the house, still, it's happening. So it's a reality that many of us have. Another thing, the pandemic tested also our personalities. Do you agree with that? This pandemic tested our personalities. What do you mean by that? Nasubukan kung ano yung, kung madali ba tayong mag-cope? Nahihirapan ba tayo? Tayo ba yung madaling bumigay? Tayo ba yung ayoko nang pag-usapan to kahit na kailangan yan? Mas we get to confront the real deal on our relationship, the real deal in our marriage. And I would like you to think about that. That pandemic has confronted that. In many ways, it has confronted that. So another thing that I would like you to look into, the pandemic also tested, bukod sa yung ating patterns, yung ating patterns with the relationship, that it tested our personality and it also has tested, nako, ito, our pain points, yung mga hugot. Friends, sa mga nanonood sa atin ngayon, for those of you who are watching or if you're just listening, do you have pain points in your relationship? Or sa sarili natin? Meron ba tayong hugot? Yung bang pain points natin na parang, ano ba? I feel that for the past years, you've been taking me for granted, na hindi mo talaga ako pinapansin or you don't celebrate me. I think many of us na-test yun ngayong pandemya. Nandiyan na talaga yan. Yun na talaga yung existing reality natin. Pero hindi lang natin napapansin. Because as I said earlier, it can be submerged in other matters that are reality to us even before the pandemic. So now it has tested so much. So why did I put the topic pandemic proof our relationship? Now or before, post-pandemic, sana ito yung mga bagay na alisin natin or i-work on natin. And then today, I'm going to speak to you what is not supposed to be present in the relationship. And then on Thursday, I'm going to speak with you about what should be present. Are you with me? Friends, are you with me? Oh, thank you for those who send stars. Thank you, Marilu, for sending stars. I really appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you for everybody who are here and watching. Friends, you can share this to family and friends. It might have a very general topic, but our topic is very specific and very, very applicable to the needs of many people, especially in relationships. So technically, tayong lahat yun kasi tayong lahat ay nasa relasyon. Okay, pandemic or not, I would like to us to reflect again. I think this is my topic way back, but I would like us to reflect on it. Why is it not supposed to be in a relationship? And then my reference again, it's I think I've discussed this. It's the Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse by John Gatman. Ito yung mga bagay na how we communicate. But I would like to us to look into it that if this happens in a relationship and then it's not gonna be very healthy. So ano yung dapat wala? We're not pandemic or not, these will not work. So the first one, being critical. I think baka marami tayo nun. It will not work. It will not work if we are if one we are Critical. Bakit hindi mag-work kung critical tayo? No, it's not gonna work if we are critical. It's really not gonna work. It may work for some time, it may work short term, but being critical in a relationship may make our loved ones, our spouse, let's just go over, our spouse feel that we are attacking them. So if we are in a marriage relationship or in a relationship, even at home, and we feel that we are always attacked, we are always, something is wrong. Lagi na lang may nahahanap na mali. Parang ako na lang yung lagi may kasalanan. Parang ako na lang ba talaga lagi? Yan. It will not work if we are very critical in a relationship. And I would like you to reflect about that. That the moment that we keep being critical, it speaks that we are attacking the person. It may be in a form of complaint, but there is a difference between a complaint and a criticism. If we, it's okay to be critic, we are complaining. It's okay if we are criticizing a circumstances. But usually, when we complain, we are complaining about the issue. But if we are criticizing, our tendency is to criticize the person. 'Di ba? The other person might feel attacked. Can you relate with this? That the other person might be feeling we are attacking them. So there you go. So being critical, attacking the person, we feel that something is wrong with the other person. So friends, I would like you to reflect. Is criticism, being critical, present in your relationship? And then it's not gonna, it's not going to be healthy in the long run if it's always like out of five conversation or out of five encounters with the person you love, lagi na lang may criticism yung lahat dyan. Hindi siya healthy. Kung meron man one out of five, it's okay, pero yung five, most of the time, this is the predominant tone in the family, this is the predominant tone in the relationship, and then it's not very healthy. The next thing, if it will not work if we are critical, and the second is if it will not work if we are if it we will if sorry, it will not work if we are defensive. If we are defensive, hindi siya mag-work. Have you been in this situation na parang alam mo naman kung na meron, alam natin na merong mali or meron talagang pagkukulang, ah, sorry, alam natin na may pagkukulang yung partner natin, asawa natin, anak natin, or family member natin, and then suddenly they become so defensive, and then at the end of the ball game, parang pinasa sa atin yung bola na hawak natin. What I mean by that, parang at the end of it all, parang, ay, nakita mo na pala eh, ba't hindi mo pa ginawa? Parang, ay, ako pa pala yung may kasalanan. Eh, di ba it's your responsibility to do that? So, defensiveness actually, when I reflect about this, defensiveness has a lot to do with the self-esteem of the person. The self-awareness. Is he willing to be open? Is he willing to disclose also their insecurities and their own personal issue? Being defensive is covering up something with the self. But the tendency is that defensiveness is projecting on others. Kaya sila, the tendency of people who are defensive in relationships is manakit. But it's never going to be about them because they're going to defend and cover up to protect themselves. Are you with me? And when they protect themselves, they fail to take responsibility. Yun yung mahirap doon. Di ba parang, oh, I talked to everyone because I need help. And then everybody said they're busy. But nobody would like to take responsibility, but everybody's partaking in what's happening in the household. Everybody would like have a stake, but suddenly it's just me here. It's just my responsibility. So what really happened? So there you go. And that's defensiveness because the tendency is to cover up the other person. It's so hard to deal with people who are defensive. Parang literally defensive, just like in a basketball game, hindi ka makasingit. Kasi the thing is, they would always project and it would always seem that tayo yung may mali. But in reality, it's not about us, but it's really about them. So friends, have you been in a tricky circumstances with your family, with your loved ones, that they are very defensive. You're not going to create a healthy relationship if one, if they are somebody's very critical. The second is they are defensive. So the fourth one, where are we? Are you still here, friends? So the fourth one, I would like the third one. The third one, it's actually called stonewalling. Have you heard of stonewalling? Gottman said stonewalling, it's actually the brick walling. Parang the person puts a wall in an encounter, in a discussion, in the middle of making a decision, they put a wall. They don't want maybe to deal with the situation. The tendency is that somebody tends to put a wall in the I don't know if you've been in this situation. Somebody tends to put a brick wall or nagdinededma yung sitwasyon because there are people who tends to be overwhelmed. Yung parang dalang-dala sila sa sitwasyon. It's like, are you with me? Have you encountered this? They don't know how to act. They don't know how to decide. They don't know they don't know any other way. So instead of facing the problem, they they do not run away from the problem, but their tendency of these people is just to freeze. Parang, okay, so dead man na lang. Hindi na lang nila dinideal with. And they fail to participate in putting the solution. So, ito yung kahit na umiyak ka pa sa harap nila, I just have to use this analogy. There are such situations that we are in a very tricky place that the people that we would like to support us or the people that we are in relationships, our loved ones, kahit na gusto nating umiyak, kahit na umiyak na nga tayo, kahit na nakita nila na hirap ka na, but they cannot come to a decision, they cannot get to help because the tendency, it's that they stonewall. So, ang hirap mag-penetrate, kaya siya stonewalling, not even kahoy. Kasi yung kahoy, di ba, we can penetrate with our voices or mas nakakasingit pa diyan. Pero pag sinabi mong stone wall, brick wall, wow, parang firewall pa nga eh. There's no penetrating. Parang, is this person parang uh, untouchable? Or they are we may feel if we feel that they are untouchable, it might be that we feel that we are also so dispensable. Yung parang andali mo na lang akong ganitohin. So here, the tendency of people is that the brick wall or the deadma, it's so hard to deal with them. Ito yung parang what will really get to them. So parang ito yung ipagdadasal na lang natin sila, if you know what I mean. So the fourth one, what will not work if we are if if they are stonewalling. And the fourth one, it will not work if we are, I don't know if you've heard of this, if we have contempt. The fourth one, it will not work if in a relationship we have contempt. Ano tong contempt? Nako, pag merong contempt sa isang relasyon, in any relationship, ito na yung pinaka, I think this is the extreme. Why? There is anger, there is frustration, and it's an indicator of extreme dissatisfaction. Totally parang you cannot feed each other's emotional life already. You're just feeding each other's nerves. I don't know, friends, kung sino man sa inyo who've been in this situation, you don't need to explain to me, but just put there in the comment section, I've been there. You don't need to explain to me, but contempt, it's actually, it's bordering already in disrespect. Yung parang, sorry, I have to use this Tagalog line that naubos na yung respeto ko sa'yo. And that's why it's extreme because bago dumating sa sitwasyon na naubos na yung respeto natin, it means that maybe the couple or the family has tried so many ways to resolve an issue. It's an indicator actually of contempt, is an indicator of accumulative issue, accumulative problems. Can you relate with this? And if you see, there's intense disrespect, there is eye-rolling already, there's belittlement. Yung bang ito, 'pag kinausap kayo, we react right away. Yung parang maayos naman yung sasabihin sa'yo. But since nawalan na tayo ng confidence or kumpiyansa dun sa tao, and then our tendency is to it's to help contempt. Friends, it's so hard. I can just imagine. But it's so hard to live with someone that in a family with where there is contempt, because we're supposed to be family. We're not even perfect, but if there is contempt, it means that there are issues that it's so hard to work on, and we still need to feed each other's emotional needs even before we can work out the issue. So, kumbaga, kung may problema dyan, for example, the family is in a crisis situation, there is a financial problem. Bago mo pa ma-work on yung financial problem, you also need to work on bridging the gap to be emotionally connected to each other, kasi nawalan ng respeto, nawalan ng kumpiyansa or tiwala, at nawalan din ng confidence sa isa't isa. And then it's so hard. These things I told you, this will not work. This will not work in the pandemic and beyond. These things I'm telling you, they actually happen. You agree with me? They actually happen. And if you look at these things, they may seem easy, but sometimes, if the pattern of how we resolve conflicts with our loved ones, with our family, with even our friends, boyfriend, and of course, our spouses, if this is the way that we have been dealing with each other, and I'm going to tell you, it's according to Gottman. If you would like to know more articles about him, you look for the Gottman Institute. That's the website, and then it will it will not work, because they are the indicators that the relationship is bound to fail at one point or another, or maybe not fail but not necessarily be very healthy. So if you are with me and you understand what I mean, this is how it is. I'm not analyzing things, but you have to check. I would like you to check. So the first thing that you will do, check what's the reality in your family. Are these four present? Kung wala, thank God. Kung wala, do what you're doing. Kung walang indicators of any of this being critical, being defensive, stonewalling, and having contempt, if there's no indicator in your relationship, and then that's good. But if there's indicator, go and check saan galing, check niyo yung issues, check niyo yung pain points, saan ba kayo nasasaktan sa isa't isa, check also the personality, and check your patterns, check your usual engagement. So, oops, pag nangyari to, usually ito. So, pag nangyari to, maybe hindi na to dapat mangyari, hindi na dumating dito sa point na to. So, I hope what I'm saying is making sense. And last, so first, what do you do? Check. The second is that continue building the connection. Connection is having emotional deposits with each other. What I realized in this pandemic is that connection is very critical. It's actually the the bond or the emotional deposits that we put in a relationship, we put in a marriage, kahit na LDR pa yan, kahit na malayo kayo sa isa't isa. If the bonds are clear, if the emotional deposits are there, and then I'm going to tell you, it's going to be very amazing. Kasi mas madali natin ma-work through any problem. And if there's connection already, like what I do with you, there's already a conversation, and if we see each other, it's easy to speak the tone. Like here at Coffee Break, I speak the tone that this is the tone that I am telling you about. So, but here I would like you to realize that conversation is easy with you because we have set the tone already, and the tone is the connection that we have established with each other. So the conversation can happen. Either the conversation may be good, either the conversation may be disclosing about one's feelings, or telling each other about what happened in their day. Whatever the content of conversation, malalim, mababaw, malawak, a couple, a family, people in relationship can continue to converse because they have already connect so that they can converse. So check that. Check that. So the first one is you check, the second is you connect, and the third is you can converse. And what happens? The fourth one, if there are corrections needed, probable concerns that you need to work through, and then that can take place. Correction, kaya hindi nyo ba napansin, ang hirap sumunod ng mga tao, like halimbawa, our teenagers, kung wala tayong relasyon sa kanila, ang hirap na i-correct yung husband natin or even our family members kung hindi naman tayo connected talaga. Kung mababaw lang yung usapan. Because there's no foundation, walang cushion, walang another C is cushion. Nothing is cushioning the relationship. So, you need to check this. You need to check these four in your relationship, especially in your marriage, because that would make you pandemic proof. So what you do is that you check, you connect with each other, continue connecting. Kung may problema, sometimes it's best to connect first and then converse before you can correct. Correction may not happen effectively right away if there's no connection, conversation. And the fourth one is connection. So that's about coffee break for this afternoon. I hope that you can join me next on Thursday, I'm going to talk about, so how can we work on moving away from this four? Kung ito yung mga bagay na dapat wala sa isang relasyon, what do you think? Ano naman yung dapat na meron? Ano naman yung dapat na we will bring into the relationship? Because we need to really immune ourselves. We need to do a lot of immune boost in our relationship system for it to thrive in the pandemic and beyond. And I would like to ask you, friends, if there's one word that you catch, if there's one step that you can take ngayon after coffee break, what is it that you can do for yourself and for your loved ones? Can you put that in the comment? If there is one thing that you can do, if one step that you can take, can you put that in the comment? Ano yung kaya mong gawin? Ano yung kaya natin na i-work on? Please put that in the comment section because I would like to hear from you. I would really want to know what you think about this. So friends, another thing that I would like to announce is that aside from the stars that I hope that you can send to support Coffee Break here with Dr. Michelle, what I would like you to do is that I'm going to post starting today, June 15 until what do you call this? I'm going to post starting today until June 30. I'm going to, or no, maybe earlier than June 30. By June 30, I will pick out three winners for the Jewels Conference. If you would like to know more about Jewels Conference, I'll be one of the speakers of Jewels Conference. It's a it's a honest to goodness conversation about faith, about family, and about us being women. It's the women's ministry of my community, the Feast. So you can join us wherever you are in the world. We're running it on July 16 and 17, either in Asia, Oceania, in the Middle East, and of course here in Manila. I'll be one of the speakers of the Jewels Conference. Please join us. It will be an awesome weekend for us. It's a time for women to come together. So I will be posting something about Jewels Conference and what I would like you to do for the listeners of Coffee Break, the regular listeners of Coffee Break, those of you na lagi kong nakikita yung pangalan, if you are here and abangan niyo yung post ko, I would like you to answer what I look forward to in connecting with women, or what is your big takeaway in Coffee Break conversation with Doc and Shells. I think that's more fitting. So, and because in that post, tell me what's your big takeaway and what you have been learning from Coffee Break or with Doc Shell, and then we will be raffling off everybody who's answering on that thread. Dun lang sa post na yon. Anyone who answered the question or that complete the sentence, what I learned from Doc and Shell, what I learned in Coffee Break. If you would like to join that, please do so because we're going to raffle off everybody who participate in that promo. we will be raffling off tickets to Jewel's conference because that's our way of supporting each other because I would like it to grow as I grow and I would like to hold hands with you and to have coffee with you so we can continue talking about our family, our faith life, and of course, our well being because we have a responsibility to look after each other. So that's about it. I hope you join me in Coffee Break on Thursday. Yes, I like this. Building connection. Thank you. Connection and communicate. Please join me in Coffee Break on Thursday as I continue. And please join that promo so that you can join me for uh, in Jubal's conference on July because I will be raffling off from now, if you're going to participate until the end of the month, three winners to win tickets to enter Jubal's conference. Maraming salamat po and God bless you all. This is Dr. Michelle Alignay for Coffee Break.